What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cheap Shot Music Podcast. I'm Jack.
I'm Justin.
And let's get right into the news.
So, all right, Jack, what's happening in news today?
So, first thing we've got is a little article on Van Morrison taking legal action against the Northern Ireland COVID Ministry.
Oh, man.
As you know, during the pandemic, he released like 3 singles that were all very anti-mask, anti-vax, but, put in the way of like, we need freedom and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So someone in the COVID ministry wrote an opinion article about him and made a bunch of statements, and now he's suing them for probably like defamation or whatever. And it's a whole thing. And I don't know. I mean, Van Morrison is a legend, but, there are lanes and there are levels, meaning you could stay in this one lane of music and let the people who are at different levels of medicine and understanding handle that stuff,
Yeah, you don't know everything, Van Morrison. Not everything.
The next thing we have is Johnny Depp. As you know, the whole Amber Heard trial and Johnny Depp thing is now resolved, and he's getting out a little bit. He played 3 songs with Jeff Beck on one of his shows. It's interesting because most people think of Johnny Depp as an actor, but he really actually started out as a musician in LA. And so it's nice to see him do some different things other than acting, because he kind of got pushed out of that area. You know what I'm saying? So, but the other part of me is like, this feels a little bit like capitalizing on the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Well, of course he is. He's trying to get out into the public eye, and he's trying to make a name for himself again. And he's trying to say, hey guys, I'm a
Still
nice
here.
person.
Yeah.
And I'm still here.
Yeah, right.
Please let me be Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, he'll take the $100 million that'll go along with being Captain Jack Sparrow again. What do you got, Justin?
All right, so we got a couple things on the release radar.
Cool.
I'll go from all the way back at the beginning of the month, a new A$AP Rocky song, DMB, That's My Bitch. The music video is actually more popular than the Spotify song.
I could see
because it's A$AP's and Rihanna's wedding day, and it's like all collaged together. And then it's in between is these points where A$AP gets thrown in jail, and then Rihanna's waiting for him, and it starts with...
This is in the video?
Yeah, it's in the video.
Interesting.
And so it starts with her running into Rocky's arms, like, oh my gosh, thankfully. And then all the way, I think it's 4 or 5 separate times this happens, all the way to Rihanna waiting around the corner, like, I don't want to be here, but I love you. It's really funny.
Yeah, in jail.
Yeah. So it just kind of shows their complex relationship.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's very lovely.
Like, they do love each other. It's the unfortunate thing is like Rocky is being basically criminalized there was the whole relation to this violent outburst, I want to call it, because I don't really know what happened.
He's a street.
So
he's from the street.
Apparently he shot at somebody, but I don't know, and that's the whole reason why he got arrested in LA.
It's not too far of a stretch to say Rocky shot at someone. But anyways, this is a single for his new album called All Smiles with the $sign on the S. So I'm very excited for that one. And then actually, we'll talk about in Generic or Genuine, Post Malone released the new album. And then also a new single that happened. A lot of releases. A lot of them. X came back from the dead and did a song with Kanye West called True Love. How do you like it, Jack? You love it? Is it True Love?
It's definitely not True Love.
Is it... not the one right now, but Mr. Right Now?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd say that. My feeling about this song is just like Kanye's narcissism fueled and justified by him bringing back X.
He's like lashing out.
A little bit, yeah. Not a little bit, a lot of it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It is a little bit weird. But because it's X and it's Kanye making a beat, it is a sick beat. But put someone else on it. Yeah.
I mean, he is just yelling into the microphone.
And
like
yeah.
X's.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that was his style, but I don't know why Kanye chose to use
this sample.
one.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there was a reason X didn't want it released, you know what I'm saying? And just Kanye pulled it out of the vault from when they were recording.
He definitely pulled it out of the vault and paid for it and then did it.
So it's interesting. It's an okay song, but again, the meaning of it is a little bit garbagey because it's like his whole, I don't get to see my children, but he actually does see his children in real life.
You can.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's hot garbage. And speaking of hot garbage, let's check some hot garbage out.
Hot garbage. Hot garbage.
All right, Justin, what do we have for hot garbage today?
So last week we were talking about Young Thug and Gunna's RICO case. So we thought it's only appropriate that we picked Hot featuring Gunna by Young Thug.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Who's singing?
I took the Billy Cool back then I hopped in the car. I put this bitch in front of the Billy in front of the drive. And man, this shit that is weed, can't smoke in the
Stop it. Just stop it, Jack.
No.
Okay, I thought that Jack recorded the beginning wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's an ad lib. He's doing ad libs, Young Thug, in a verse with no verse.
Correct.
Who does that?
Young Thug, I guess.
And then he makes Gunna look really good when he comes in.
Yeah, he does, actually. Maybe that's the point. Maybe we just figured out the point of that.
Oh.
It could be.
Is it just a big joke?
Yeah, it's to just lay the biggest crap ever so that Gunna can look pretty good.
Oh my god. What is he even saying at all? Like,
I
the
wonder,
whole time.
I really wonder what the lyrics are. I'm going to just look that up really quick.
Goodness.
Oh my gosh. But I mean, you know.
So this song peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100. Back in 2019, it was released on Halloween. Why was this released on Halloween? And it's from the album So Much Fun by Young Thug.
It's,
my gosh.
I don't even know if they have the lyrics for that part in. Because here's the lyrics where it would be, right? Because Gunna's are everything litty, I love when it's hot, turned up the city, I broke off the notch. That was Gunna, right?
That's fine lyrics.
Yeah.
A person ghostwrote that, he paid for it, everything.
So what would have been before that is we really fly, we like pelican glide, bitch you ain't slick, I can tell the disguise, upgraded my
Which
wrist.
that's Gunna.
Okay, so
they don't have Young Thug's ad libs because he's just going
I don't think anyone could understand what he's saying.
Who's singing?
Yeah, who's singing? It's Young Thug, everyone.
I mean, how do you call that singing? I mean, I feel like most singers would be offended by calling that singing.
Well, it's improvisation, Jack. It's freestyling.
Wow, that's the coolest freestyle I've ever seen in my entire life.
But he's not even doing that.
I know. It's like
everything in between that. So he's like, he's literally doing ad libs for a verse that is not there.
Yeah. I don't even know what to think of it. I mean, maybe it's like
so weird.
Maybe they recorded it wrong. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how any of it. I can't find it any of it passable. In my opinion.
2.5 years ago, they haven't fixed it.
And somehow it has.
This is the deluxe version that we're listening to.
And it has 300 million streams. 300 million streams on this song.
That is twice as much as Kate Bush running up that hill.
Which is also gotten a lot of influx lately.
70%, everyone.
Because of Stranger
watching
Things.
Stranger Things.
Well, I think we're done here with these two because
speaking of things that we love, Jack.
Let's talk about things that we actually love. My two favorite Stevies and Jack's Junk. Jack's Junk. All right, so I'm declaring that today is International Stevie Day. Stevie Appreciation Day. Yeah, that's right. So the other day when I was scrolling through YouTube, I found a really cool video of Stevie Wonder and Stevie Ray Vaughan playing a live show together on MTV in 1989.
Nice.
They did a cover of, well, not a cover. They did a version of Superstition with Jody Walls, I believe, as well. And it's just such a cool version. And
funky.
Let's roll it really quick.
Perfect.
Yeah.
When you believe this, that you don't stand, you suffer. Superstition ain't your way.
I mean, like, how can you not love this? Like, it's two of some of the best musicians to ever play instruments alive, playing together in their prime on MTV before it was corrupted by reality TV. So, like, to me, it's a total gem. And hearing them both play is just, again, so cool. There's also a video that I watched that is like a behind the scenes of this, where you get a more like, you know, behind the scenes look at how they are as musicians, and listening to them just noodle a little bit, like with Stevie Ray Vaughan's tone, and then Stevie Wonder like playing all these like jazz licks, but also staying so like soulful and gospel-y at the same time, dude. I mean, you don't get that, I feel like. I mean, you do get that nowadays, but I don't think it hits the public limelight like it used to. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's really cool to appreciate the both of them. And I think my other thought about it is cocaine is a hell of a drug. Because when you listen to Stevie in this 1 hour long behind the scenes video, he just starts playing these extremely fast riffs, and then hearing them play with each other and trade solos on Come Let Me Make Your Love Come Down, which is another one of the songs they did during this entire session. Go check that out on YouTube as well, 1989. Yeah, what can I say other than it's just a pure amazement, and we need to appreciate our Stevies. Let's not forget our history. You know what I'm saying, Justin?
Yes, I do. It's just all about Stevie Appreciation Day. Mm-hmm. It's all about looking back at some of the wonderful talent MTV has and had.
Yeah. And hopefully, you know, we'll see a return to more like musicianship in the public limelight, because I feel like sometimes we like to highlight people for image, and this is a perfect example of highlighting people for their musicianship and not their image or what they look like or how they are perceived.
Yeah, living
in the culture.
that rock star life.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a rock star life, you know, lifestyle, at least for the both of them. But speaking of a rock star lifestyle, right? We've got our boy Posty with a new album. So how about we check that out in Generic or Genuine?
Sweet.
Generic or Genuine?
So, all right, Jack. What do you have for us for Generic or Genuine today?
So, as I said previously, we've got Post Malone with a new album. It's called 12 Carat Toothache. It was released on June 3rd, 2022. And the first song off the album is called Reputation. Now, here's what I thought of the song. Some cool effects were in it, especially towards the end. I like how there was like this shepherd tone-esque rising thing that he did. So they took like a sample of his vocal, and then it slowly got higher and higher and higher until it transitions into the next song. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I also thought it was like, as a song, it actually kind of created a soundscape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like for the whole album.
Yeah. And so I thought that was pretty cool as well. And it's interesting that he started off so like punchy, to the point, visceral, like I am in a lot of pain, like I have a lot of emotional pain. I've got this reputation that everyone thinks of me, yada yada, you know.
Right. And then like kind of the theme of the album is this is who I am. I like going and partying and being a rock star, you know, popping pillies, you know, being Posty, hanging out with the groupies, wink wink, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that's his lifestyle for sure.
And it's just not good to have a wife or a significant other in this environment. It's just not cool.
He's definitely alluding to that throughout the entire album, sometimes more overt than other times, you know.
And then other times very cryptic, but it's just kind of like setting up the motivation of the album of like, I have this pain of having someone, but it just doesn't work out because of my personality. Why don't I go make some songs? But this was during the pandemic that he started making it. So that leads right into the next song, Cooped Up, with Roddy Ricch. And it's just about, I feel cooped up in my house because I can't go anywhere. Things got lifted. The CDC says I can go outside. Let's party.
Yeah,
that's basically the song.
It's totally a party song. The beat highlights that as well, or at least accentuates that. I liked how Roddy didn't rhyme at the end of his verse. That was a nice little mix-up because, you know, I like rhyming. However, there's got to be a point to rhyming, and it all has to, again, come back to meaning. So if you're just rhyming to rhyme, like what Gunna and Young Thug do in Hot,
well, that's ghostwriting.
Yeah.
You just have someone looking up words and going, hey,
that sounds
just
good.
Write as much as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually do like Roddy Ricch.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a bad verse at all. I thought this was a cool song.
I don't necessarily enjoy his verses. I really like his choruses. They're really good. Okay. But it's into that mumble rap, really hardcore.
It depends on what you do with it and what you mean by it.
And it depends when I'm listening to it, this song, for sure. If I'm partying, the song's fine.
Right. I think you made the point that like this is a nice album to have in the background at a party, and I would agree with that. Moving forward, we have Lemon Tree as the third track off of the album. I liked the guitar part, and it's a more interesting guitar part than we've usually gotten or lately gotten from Post, in my opinion.
It's showing his growth.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's super cool. He's getting more complex with every single song, every single album. It's very nice to see. At
least the guitar playing is, and that's not when he's held back by his label, because I think part of the issue with this album is he might have been held back musically by the label that he's signed to, but that's my opinion.
Or he put as much effort into it, and he needed a really good producer to pair with this, and the producer just wasn't up to the job.
Yeah, because it didn't feel creative musically. It felt really honest in terms of its meaning, and it felt creative in terms of its meaning because Post has more alluded to his issues.
It was very expressive.
Yeah, and that the music doesn't match that, and I think that's a theme you see throughout the album.
That's a good point.
Wrapped Around Your Finger is the next song. It's a cute little jam. It kind of sounds like Run Away, Run Away. Like
the
that.
Circle song from his last
It really does.
album.
I think it might be in the same key, actually. Which is why it would be.
I really like the beginning, how it's bouncing back and forth with the keys, the synth keys, and then his voice too. And it starts very abruptly. It starts right with his voice.
Yeah. It's interesting how many abrupt things happen on this album, like just even the beginning and then this song now too, right?
And then so we got like kind of like a duo song with the first one, I Like You, a happier song featuring Doja Cat. So, I mean, it's Doja Cat. It's like this nice little song on her comments originally that we had highlighted on this show, where she lashed out and said that she was going to quit. But this song just was such a nice little like groove. And it felt like someone who was emotionally distraught could really vibe with this song. They could really just get along. It's just a nice, happy environment. And then that's why it's called a happier song.
Yeah. The one thing that confuses me a little bit, and I feel is a little bit cryptic, but I might just be misinterpreting, is like how he feels about the person he's writing about in this song. Because I can't tell if he's like trying to be friends or if he's trying to or if he's trying to do both, or you know what I'm saying?
Well, he's a rock star.
Yeah. So it's
he's
both.
definitely a rock star. So
yeah.
Yeah. And so the next one is a sadder song, I Cannot Be, with Gunna. And originally, Jack, You missed the Gunna part?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, Gunna and Post sound so much like each other in this song that I was like, wait, that's Gunna?
I was wondering where it started, and at one point I was like, oh yeah, isn't that Gunna? And I was like, no, that's Post. Gunna starts now for 30 seconds, and it's his usual mumble rapping self, but I could actually understand some of the words.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that a nice change of events?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, nice.
We're really highlighting Gunna this episode.
Yeah, woo! Gunna, you're getting better. Hopefully you get out of jail, man.
Yeah.
So we got the 7th song on the album, Insane, and I think it's just a story building song. Like, this isn't a single at all. Like, at all.
Yeah.
No embrace of a single.
It contributes more to the whole idea of the album, which, as an album, like what Posty wrote for his lyrics, I think is a very holistic piece. Like I said, though, musically, it's just lackluster.
Yeah, it's kind of the expression that Kendrick had without the production.
Yeah, because Kendrick's production, like if you compare...
He made it in 4 years,
Yeah.
and then this was made in 2.
So I could see how that would take more time because Kendrick thought about probably every single detail of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
So, and then that's why the deluxe version with the 2 songs at the end that showed up after, that's why the production on those is a little bit better, because it does feel a little rushed, this album.
I could see that. Although, is it rushed if it took 2 years is my question?
In pandemic and
Yeah.
in COVID. And it does take a good 5 years to make a concept album nowadays. Kendrick took that long.
Yeah, and I mean, Kendrick...
Pusha takes that long too.
And it was worth the time for both of those cases. And I think the lyrics were worth the time for this album. But
right.
Everything is just so generic in terms of its music.
And then some of the songs, like the next one, Love Hate Letter to Alcohol. And he's talking about how he got way too trashed one night, took way too many shots. And then he had to call his dentist in the morning because he got into a fist fight, an altercation.
Yeah. Maybe even a reference to 12 Carat Toothache,
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's just the rock star life Posty's living.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, in my opinion, this song really shows how he's got an addictive personality. Like he's straight up addicted to everything.
And then that's why the next song, the 9th one, is Wasting Angels with Kid Laroi. And he's going through Don't Let Another Angel Go to Waste. Probably speaking of Juice WRLD and X and all of these people, Mac Miller, wanting to do a song with Kid Laroi before anything happens to him or anything happens to himself.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah. I just thought it was a beautiful song.
It's really nice.
Meaning-wise and musically,
really
this is
nice.
one of the better ones for sure.
Right. And the next one, the maximal minimalism portion of the album. Call back.
Oh my God.
Euthanasia. I mean, so later in the album, the regular non-deluxe version ended with a quote new recording, January 3rd, 2020. And that is just Post playing the guitar and having the first verse and then saying euthanasia.
Yes.
So it's just the bare bone foundation of this song.
Yeah.
So it would be a nice ending, but then the deluxe version adds
two
more. So I was trying to argue that they should have had the new recording, the bone foundation, before the euthanasia.
I could see that. It's just, how do you want to work with this preliminary recording, Some might say that it's a good way to end an album just because it shows the process that you went through.
And then it should just be another album of the new
outtakes.
recording of the outtakes. I mean,
Right.
like Kendrick Lamar did the Untitled album just of outtakes.
And that is a killer album
It's
too.
a killer album.
Yeah, right. Like Untitled #6 with CeeLo and
CeeLo.
Kendrick.
CeeLo can rap in a verse. I never knew that before.
And then throws on his beautiful vocals as always, you know. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's come back to When I'm Alone, number 11 on Post's album.
Yeah, the pop rock song.
Yeah.
And it's this cryptic, revealing, it's another storyboarding song for the album.
Like creates a story, contributes to the overall idea and theme.
It's not a single.
Yeah. However, it feels conflicted to me, you know?
Because it's living in this pop rock where pop rocks where it should be like a single.
Yeah. Yep. But it you know, like that's the thing is musically it feels conflicted because it could be like a pop rock kind of single that is you know, a different twist for Post Malone.
And then his way that he sings is very very nice and melodic, but then the things that he says is just like completely contrasting the whole environment of the song.
Yeah, and that's again why it's so hard to understand some of the tracks on this album because the producer had a different idea than Post did, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, of course, because Post is like, I love who I am, but of course it makes me feel a little bit depressed on certain aspects.
Yeah.
And then it's as if the producer is caught in one of those sides when it should lie right in the middle.
Where the producer and Post need to come to the
way
middle.
To this way or that way, because like the next song, "Waiting for a Miracle," is completely different. It sounds like a church song. Yeah, it sounds like something that they're gonna play during the offering.
Long reverb.
Yeah.
Like you know how like if you've ever been to like a rock church is what I'm gonna call it, where it's like a whole like show and stage and lights and stuff. This song is exactly like that. You hit it on the nose with this one,
Right?
Yeah.
So is he transitioning to
Christianity? I don't know. Oh God.
And then we got the one right now
The
that
single
was released November 5th, 2021, and you could say it's about sex addiction. You could say this. You could say that. You can put it because I don't have the one right now. I'll just settle with. Oh, crap. See, I messed it up, Jack. See, it's covering up the pain of not having the right one with the one right now.
Yeah. Right.
I'll give myself a boo for that.
That's
for
okay.
messing it up.
We forgive you. But yeah, you know, if you look at it on its surface level, it seems like sex addiction, but it's sex addiction filling the hole of the pain of not having somebody, which is again the basic theme of this entire album.
The whole theme of this is who I am, though. I'm comfortable with it.
And that's where I feel like he's conflicted, though, because like he may say that he's comfortable in being himself, but he also has this feeling out here about someone else that he wants to have in his life. You know what I'm saying?
Or is it she wants to be in his life
and he doesn't need her to be or doesn't want to because he doesn't want to hurt her.
He loves her
enough
to say, do not be by me.
Yeah. That's what it really comes down to, is because he knows that he's capable of causing someone a lot of pain. You know, because of the way he exists.
He's a rock star.
Exactly.
And then so that one is followed by New Recording,
which is where the non-deluxe version of the album ends. But then, and like we talked about previously, it's just a preliminary recording of Euthanasia. But with the deluxe album, we have track number 15, Waiting for Never. And Justin and I's feeling about these two tracks, well, just even the two tracks at the end of the album is like, it seems a little bit strange, the placement of these two songs at the end in the deluxe version.
But they are the most produced.
Yes, I can agree with that. So it comes back to the idea that maybe they spent more time with these songs because it came on the deluxe version.
Well, it was released a couple days after.
So, I mean, it's not like it's that much more time.
Yeah, they get another day with it. So why don't you just put it within
the album?
The album, because song number 16, the ending of the album is hateful.
Yeah.
Why are you ending with like a hateful hatred song? Because we're going back to the Kendrick example of this is like a revealing, expressing album, and Kendrick is saying in Mirror, the last song of that album, sorry, I don't have anything else for you. I'm going home. And then this one, Post is saying, I'm angry. Love is hateful. And because that's the environment that he puts himself into, of he can't have a significant other because of his personality.
And but it makes him resentful, which is why I think that Post in all is conflicted, but at least he's being honest about he's self-actualizing his confliction.
Because he's a rock star, man.
Yeah. And he can't he tells himself that he can't live any other way, which I don't know if that's the case necessarily, but I mean, that's what he thinks for the moment. You know?
Right. So what do we think, Jack? Generic or genuine on the album as a whole? Because there's generic aspects and there are genuine aspects.
As a whole, I say genuine, lyric-wise. Definitely, though, musically, it's generic. If I'm going to have to put both of them together, I'm going to still give the edge to genuine, but it's a slight edge just because Post is being more honest about himself.
I honestly think it's genuinely generic.
Yeah, and that's a way to see it as well.
Yeah, because Post he's a genuine guy. He's expressing himself. He is revealing. He is putting himself out there. It's exactly what you want an artist to do. But yeah.
I still come to the conclusion that he should have worked with a more creative producer for this album because the beats don't match the songs and the intensity of the lyrics. The music is just, like I've said a million times already,
but even
generic.
If they were trying to contrast, because I really like the contrast of having like an angry beat and then soft words. I like that contrast, but it's as if they're always on the wrong page for every song.
Yeah, the producer and Posty are not on the same page, and I agree with you on that. So this has been the Cheap Shot Music Podcast.
Please download or stream this episode wherever you get your podcasts.
Please leave a like and or a comment on our social medias. It's greatly appreciated.
And thank you everyone for listening.